Once upon a time, in Rwanda, around the 18th century, was an exceptional girl. Her name was Ndabaga. After Ndabaga was born, her dad, Nyamwezi, wants to fight for the king, and so he went in the king's army. In that time, in Rwanda, men could not leave the army unless a male member of their family replaced them. Ndabaga being an only child, her father remained in the army for many, many years. And so he spent a long time far from his family, while Ndabaga was growing up. Mom, where is dad? Often asked Ndabaga. Your dad left to fight for the king. But why doesn't he come back? Because he doesn't have a son to replace him. So the young Ndabaga decided, like all the young men of her time, to train so that she could become a warrior. She trained to race, to jump, and even how to shoot a bow. But why are you doing all of this, Ndabaga? Asked her mom. Ndabaga removed all the signs that could show that she was a girl. She could not risk being discovered. One day she told her mom, Mom, I'm going to replace my father. He left when I was still young, but now I'm going to replace him and restore the family's honor. He is getting old. He needs to come back home. After intense preparations and finally ready, Ndabaga left to go replace her father. Dad, why are you not coming home? I have no one to replace me, Ndabaga, and I'm getting old. Don't tell anyone that I'm a girl, because I came to replace you. I have trained to become a warrior like all the young men. I can replace you, Dad. But what can you do, Ndabaga? He asked. Whatever a young man know how to do, Dad. Show me, he said, doubtful. So, Ndabaga raced with the other young men as her dad had asked her, and she ran really fast. Then Nyamutezi asked her to shoot an arrow, and then she did really well. So convinced that Ndabaga could replace him, Nyamutezi went to present her as his replacement. Be careful, my child, he said. And finally he could return home after many years. Ndabaga quickly set herself apart. She really applied herself to learning all the rules from the army and became an exceptional warrior. She quickly earned the respect of all the others because she was very dedicated and courageous. Ndabaga was so appreciated that as a reward she received the biggest number of cows, like it was the custom at the time, and as an exceptional warrior. Young men from her village, jealous of her success, started to spread the word that she was actually a girl. The news spread so fast that the king was soon aware of the news. There was a young girl among the soldiers. With the desire to discover the truth, the king asked that Ndabaga would be brought to him, and so he started to question her. For a long time, Ndabaga refused to talk. She didn't want to lie to the king, but what would happen if she said the truth? So she remained silent. The king kept insisting, and finally she admitted, "Yes, I'm a girl. I grew up without seeing my father, who went to fight for you. He was getting old, and not having a son, I wanted to replace him for my father and for the honor of my family." So the king asked that Nyamutezi be called back, and then he asked him, "Why did you let a girl fight among all these young men?" Then he responded, "Because I was getting old and because I was sure that she could actually replace me." The king was really touched by Ndabaga's story, and so he ordered that from that day all the old men could go back home without a replacement. Rwanda was not going to become the kingdom that was forcing women to become warriors. The king greatly rewarded Nyamutezi, Ndabaga's father, and sent him back home. Ndabaga remained at the court with the king. Ndabaga made her family so proud and so rich. All over the kingdom, they talked about them with admiration. The king remained very impressed by Ndabaga's courage. Sometime after that, he took her as a spouse. The story says that they lived a very happy life together. Since that day and up to now, Kugera iwa Ndabaga is a Rwandese expression that is still used, which literally means getting to Ndabaga's point. And it's an expression that is used when we are faced with a really complicated situation.